What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the start of a new thing on the channel. We're going to have a Siege podcast, which I am joined by my lovely, lovely friends here who are all just staring at me.
Hey, I'm Hayagoon.
You didn't even say hiya. Hiya. I'm simplistic.
What's up? I'm Jackal Carnage.
And today we will be discussing some topics that we have... Okay, I don't know what's going on, but we will be discussing topics that we have burning passions about, such as PC Siege, and why I like it so much more than console. Unbelievably amounts more. So, for me, and you have also played it, correct?
Yes, yeah, I've played some on PC. Not very good at it, but it feels better most of the time, except when it comes to me being bad at aiming.
Yeah, aim's kind of the thing, That's really all you got going
That's
for
why
you.
I literally made it to gold the first season we played ranked together on PC with just... My philosophy the whole time was why aim when you can just kill them. And I would not ADS because just use the MP5, put a laser on it, and shoot.
That's fair. So, the other two people joined with us haven't played Siege on PC, as far as I know.
I have not.
No?
I haven't either.
Have you? And you've seen Pro League, both of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've seen it, and to you, does it look different?
I mean, yeah, they're all leaning. At all times.
They're all leaning at all times.
It's literally
That's
just
fair.
their bodies
That
just
is-
tilted 45
You're
degrees.
pretty much leaning the entire time, unless you're
That's one
sprinting.
thing I wish I could always do, is always be leaning.
Yeah, just always play tilted. That's fine. But
I'd rather be leaning than tilted.
that's fair. I think one of the biggest things that separates PC Siege and console Siege on any console is the frame rate is one big thing, because consoles are locked at 60 FPS, as far as I know, and
Alright.
and from what it feels like, people that play on console can't really notice an FPS difference on PC,
Yeah.
but people that play on PC notice that console is just slower.
Yeah.
Like, everything looks slower, everything feels slower, and that might also have to do with the field of view slider.
That would for sure. That's one of my things going from console to PC. My whole world is different because of the field of view slider, and I just max that shit out, and I'm like, all right, the world is twice as big as it once was, and everything in the center is super far away now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So
But-
it's and you have better peripherals too. I
Yeah,
mean, it
for
really
real.
just puts the camera differently.
Shielding is crazy on PC because of the leaning without having the ADS and
Yeah.
the field of view slider. But for me, I've got kind of a mediocre PC. So, like, the frame rate isn't a huge thing for me. I feel, honestly, like I haven't checked, but I feel like I get worse frames on PC, but it might just be the, like, culture shock kind of thing. Like, I feel something is different and it's just better, and it being different is just worse to me.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, a little bit. So
Change not being good.
yeah, and you said that you would eventually play on PC, correct?
Yeah, once I actually get a PC that can run it, I would be open to playing it on PC, and just completely switching over if
So
that were to happen.
I would be open to playing on PC as well, but I don't know about fully switching just because of all the progress and money I've put into console.
that is the other thing.
Yeah.
I own every
The-
Elite skin.
The
and
worst part about PC Siege for people that play on console is losing all your progress. Like, your rank should be different, I feel, because they're completely different games, pretty much. Like, they run completely different. They're obviously the same game.
Mhm.
Then they're played the same way, but how you play them is different at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Cosmetic stuff, I feel like should switch over.
yeah, that's the other thing. The cosmetics should switch over. It should be like you have a Uplay account.
Yeah.
It should just be tied to your Uplay account.
Like that's where I feel like Fortnite did it correctly. Like because all your cosmetic stuff switches over between anything you play on mobile, PC, console. Doesn't matter. You have all. If you bought a skin, you have it.
Yeah.
It's okay. I haven't paid any money for cosmetics, so I'm okay on that.
The only thing I really bought was the Raven skin because it was cool.
Yeah, but you would lose all your elite skins.
Yeah, and I'm not okay with that.
Exactly.
And even then, though, like I'm okay with being bare bones again as far as cosmetics go, but give me my operators. Like
That's fair.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that was the thing. Like I was okay with making the switch when they said that getting any version of Siege gives you all the base operators.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they reverted that when I bought the game for our other friend. And so, like, he just doesn't want to play now because he doesn't have all the operators. He only has the year 1 operators because that's the version I bought him. And I thought he was going to have year 1 plus base.
Yeah.
But Ubi told me to.
Because that's
fuck that
how
off.
they originally had it advertised when they went
did.
to the new advanced edition and stuff. They had it like that for a little while, and then they just took it away with no warning.
They did do that. See, the thing that I haven't actually looked into it,
Yeah.
and I wonder if you bought him just Siege, if he'd have all the base operators.
No, he wouldn't.
You looked it up?
Yeah, and I actually made a little post on Reddit about it, and I asked a few people, but it was surprising to me was that everybody that commented on that post was on Ubisoft's side with this one. They were saying that it's, screw the new people. They should have to learn one op at a time. And I was like, but what about the people that aren't new and are just trying to convert to Siege on PC because they want to, play the better version of the game?
Yeah.
And like no one really had a response to that.
Even if you have every op at once, you can still learn them one by one.
My point exactly.
Your friends that are good at the game.
Yeah.
If you're new, you're gonna go into newcomer, and they're gonna tell you to pick a certain operator that's easy to start out with, and move up from there.
Technically. I mean, newcomers play against newcomers
like,
in the newcomer playlist.
When I bought it on console, I only had Jackal and Mira, and those were the 2 that I started out playing and Recruit.
Yeah.
Well, I still play Recruit, but
President Recruitment
And-
over here.
and- but I'll say their argument is that like you get your 1 free op or whatever, and then you play that to earn enough for the next op,
Right.
and you play that person to earn enough for the next op while you're trying them out, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I don't like that because it only takes I think they said 25,000 or something like that for all the ops, but I don't know if that was them assuming that each op is only 500 because they get incrementally more expensive when you buy them for
double
500
CTV.
more, right?
Double it each time. Yeah.
So if say you buy Pulse for 500, when you buy Castle's going to be 1,000.
Yeah.
And then that
You'd have
makes
to do
Thermite
you'd have to do the
1,500.
math, but 2,500 or 25,000 seems like too little.
It seems a little low.
Yeah.
Because
seems
that
pretty low.
with the challenges, I make that in like a day. The
Yeah.
day the challenges come out, I can make it like 25,000 if I'm playing all day.
Yeah.
Like that's not that hard, but even for for a new person, it would be harder because who wants to play all day on one operator?
Right? There's that. Especially if you're switching.
Like that promotes to me. What that promotes is maining an operator, which is not ideal for this kind of a game.
Really.
Obviously, everybody has their preferred. Hyagoon likes to play Jackal. That is known, and
That's
he
fair.
hates ranked now.
What?
It was a
Jackal's
joke
perma-banned.
about Jackal being perma-banned. How many hours do you have on Jackal now?
Too many.
Last we checked, it was almost 1.
And you're still trash at him. Anyway.
It was like 130 or something like that. But that's
It was a
and
lot.
your next closest is like 30. That's a clear not a one trick, not like in the sense of like League where
It's about half of as much as many hours I have on Jackal.
which is
the
a
next
significant lead as far as Siege would go because
Yeah.
obviously there are other people there are even pros that are basically one tricks I think God, I don't remember what team he was on. It was either Foxay from Reciprocity or somebody on Team Empire is such a gigantic Ashe and Jaeger main that they ban him out of the game by banning those two ops when it comes to pick ban.
He has 127 hours and 33 minutes on Jackal. His next highest attacker and the next highest overall is Thatcher at 47 hours and 55 minutes.
Not bad. You're getting there.
Slightly wrong. It's okay though.
But yeah. So like even in Pro League, like Team Empire is like the up and coming, like one of the best teams in the world. You know, like they beat EG I think almost every time they've met. In the Pro League finals, it was EG versus Empire, and EG choked pretty hard to Empire. Empire put up a really good fight against G2, who was like the team in Siege. They're just the best team in the world.
I feel like right now in any game, G2 is just the team.
Yeah.
Because that's how it is in League.
Yeah.
Like they're the team.
And G2 has been killing it for the past like they're the first team to win 2 6 invitationals, but like I think side note their experience is what won them this last invitational because they weren't doing that good throughout Pro League and they're in the same EU league as Team Empire and they had lost a few games to Empire already. Empire was leading the EU by just ungodly amounts, but G2 beat them because first game went to overtime, and this year they had decided that overtime in Pro League was unlimited overtime until one team wins 2 rounds in a row. And so they went like 28 rounds on Coastline.
What was it like? I don't remember. I feel like they were both in the 20s.
Yeah.
In OT. It was like 22 to 22 or something.
No, it was like 11 to 11. The total was like 28 rounds on
that
Coastline.
Can't even feel good to win. Like at that point in time when you win that game, you're just like.
But imagine how losing it feels.
Exactly.
And that's why I think Team Empire lost. If it had been a normal length game, it would have been a lot closer of a series. But either way, that's just proof of Empire's like thing. And really, their one trick is what has been carrying them. They've got a really good overall team, but they've got one. I think it's one person on their team who mains Jackal and Ashe, and if they or not Jackal and Ashe, Ashe
Jaeger.
and Jaeger. Thank you. And the people will ban him out of the game, and it makes a difference because there were in the Invitational, people would ban Jaeger one game or something like that, and they'd have a fighting chance, maybe even win that game, and they'd be like, okay, next map we don't ban Jaeger, we've got this, look at what we did, and he just picks Jaeger on defense and rolls him.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Imagine if he still had an ACOG.
It would be terrible.
I don't want to, Matt. He might not even use it. Like I mentioned earlier, some people people are doing it more on console now, but on PC, they don't always use ACOGs.
Yeah.
This is mainly for attackers, obviously, because defenders, they have like, what, 4 ACOGs now? 5, maybe? They got
Jack.
They got GIGNs.
Yeah, both Rook and Doc.
Echo.
And
Cade,
Maestro.
So 5.
Yeah, because Maestro's LMG gets it, and that's just no bueno.
That's broken.
That's bad.
To be honest,
That's
I think
bad.
they should probably take Maestro's away and give one, like, they should have given Warden one on a better gun.
Yeah.
They should have given
Imagine
Warden,
the MPX.
They should have given Warden an existing
isn't
gun
that bad.
that can get an ACOG.
Yeah. I think Warden should have gotten Echo's gun.
That's what
with the ACOG.
Without
me
a
and you have
silencer.
talked about that before.
No, with the silencer.
With the
Without a
silencer?
silencer, it's Rook's gun.
That's fair.
But
Because
yeah.
they're two different guns. I mean, like they're all.
Yeah.
He could have gotten any of the variations of the MP5.
He did. He got the MPX.
But they gave him the one that didn't work.
Yes.
With
it, even then, like it just like if somehow they could have coded it to where he gets the ACOG but Valkyrie still doesn't, fine.
or just make him a 2-speed.
See, that'd be the next glitch though. They give him an ACOG MPX, and people are like
And then Valkyrie
doing stuff to like put it on Valkyrie.
That'd be.
And then he got Valk spawn peaks with cams.
Oh, gross.
I think
That'd
another
be
easy fix that they could have done.
Imagine the first person to fall victim to that glitch where they're like, "Oh, Valk's gonna throw a cam out there. Go kill her." She's got an ACOG.
I mean, they also could have just made Warden a 2-speed and
Yeah.
fix that problem because
And-
it makes no sense that he's.
I honestly-
he's a 1-speed.
Mm.
0 sense.
I don't understand. I mean, I guess technically I understand it, but it doesn't make too much sense because I hate the mechanic
Also,
of
yeah.
not being able to move with it.
Yes.
Take that dumb ass mechanic out of the game. Like that's
So
so
it
stupid.
kind of works with him that he's a 1-speed because he moves slower, therefore the meter will deplete slower, right? The problem is it's pretty much instant anyway.
Yeah.
So
Because
And the other-
crouching takes off one blip of it
I
as well.
am-
turning
Like,
ruins it
Yeah.
because your feet move.
yeah, that was a purposeful change so that they could do that to glass as well. Like,
Yeah.
so that you can't just pop a smoke, sit in the smoke with glass, wait for your thing to fill up, and then spin around and kill people. Because now spinning around will deplete your gauge. But so like I understand like them having to nerf glass in some way, but I think they need to find a better way. He's just trash now.
Yeah.
And because of that mechanic existing, Warden is trash. And not on top of all of it, Warden's running animation makes me want to vomit.
Both of them. Both of them.
Oh, I
And
love
knock.
him. It's too good.
Like,
How can you hate it?
but like so like
She's a shotgun.
that's that's an argument for not making him a 2-speed because that animation becomes
That
even
is-
worse.
I don't.
What if they make all the operators like that now?
They've been
I
using.
quit playing Siege.
They've used essentially the same running animation for everybody,
Yeah,
and
what-
then with this they change it.
what's the point?
What
was the reasoning?
there's?
I like
there
how
isn't
Valk doesn't
one.
even have it.
Yeah.
It's the same gun. Or smoke.
But it goes back to normal when you use the shotgun.
I would understand.
Yeah.
No, not really. Like if you look at him when he's doing it, it's almost worse than the MPX. But you don't have to witness it, so it's not as bad for
Yeah.
the player.
That's why I didn't even notice that I was Warden one time on Border. Because I
you
got
had-
upstairs and I had finished blowing the holes in the floor and everything, and then I tried to throw a smoke and I put my freaking glasses on and I was
I
like,
thought
hold on a second.
I was sitting upstairs with you and Mozzie, and I'm looking at you, and I'm like, did you purposely go? Like I didn't say it out loud, but I'm thinking in my head like. He purposely went Warden for a reason here. Like there has to be.
I mean,
a
it's
reason.
not-
Nope.
It was
he
to
just
counter the smoke plant.
He just
I was.
thought that he was smoke.
It's to counter the smoke's smoke, so
Yeah.
you can see through your own smoke's smoke.
Yeah. No, it was to counter when they throw the smoke down so I can see them planting it.
I would have understand them changing the running animation if it was
It checks out.
a new gun.
Yeah.
Checks out.
But why an existing gun do you make him run like that?
Because he wasn't an existing operator.
Like he, but existing gun.
I think I don't know. Like the other thing is that it just makes you realize how slow he is when you see him like just like his arm just
Yeah.
sliding back and forth across your screen in
Yeah.
slow motion, and his gun just up there. Like it looks like the speed is super slow and doesn't match how you're running. Everything looks off and feels off.
He's like a
about it.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Well, for being honest, it's probably like that because that's how he's probably trained to hold his gun whenever he's moving instead of,
Which
at
is
his side.
silly though, because I
That
don't
doesn't
think
make any
anybody in the
sense.
Secret Service runs like that with a gun.
That
If they
literally
do, they
is
should be
less-
punished.
That's less practical. You have one hand on the gun rather than two.
Like-
one of the basics that they would teach you, I would imagine, I've never experienced
First
it,
of all,
would
they're-
have two hands on the gun at all times.
Yeah, first of all, they're going to be using the pistol most of the time, so they're going to be two-handing that thing and pointing it at the ground while they're running, just like everybody else. And second of all, if they use any SMG, it would probably be the
He
FMG9,
doesn't
which is
even
just a
have a
pistol, but in a briefcase.
Yeah.
So, like, why wouldn't they give him the FMG9? I wouldn't have been upset about that, and I hate that gun.
I love that gun, and I would have ate that up, but they
Sorry.
gave it to Knock.
I only hate it because of who it's on. It's on Knock and it's on Smoke. It doesn't need to be on Smoke because he has the gun already. Like, especially, like, it's different now because the FMG9 actually has controllable recoil and the
I mean,
simply doesn't.
I mean, the FMG9 has always had good recoil.
Yeah, But the SMG-11 also used to have good recoil.
Yes.
So there was absolutely zero reason to use the FMG-9 because you could just use the 11. And now if you're like, I can't kill people with SMG-11, use the FMG-9 and take impacts, and it's whatever. It's fine. You're bad, but it's fine.
I still use it as a secondary just because, like...
Well, yeah, it's just a better option. Because, like, if you're using your secondary, they're probably up close, so it doesn't matter anyway. You're not really going to be aiming.
Just spray and pray at that point.
Yeah. Like...
Hold the trigger and pray to your good lord.
But then on Nock's ability isn't good enough to justify her garbage weapons.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they shouldn't have given her the FMG. They could have given... I think Smoke's gun... Or not Smoke. Echo's gun would have been better on Nock. It would have made sense because she's...
It would have made sense on both of them.
It fits her theme better.
Yeah.
And it's not damage-wise overpowered. It's similar to the FMG-9 in a lot of ways when you look at the stats given to you in game.
Mm-hmm. But then she'd have an ACOG, and that's OP.
That's where it drew the line, probably.
See, I don't know if her having an ACOG would be OP because it's like this. It's the same argument for Ash.
Yeah.
Like.
But Nock's a 2-speed.
Yeah, Nock's a 2-speed.
Not a 3-speed.
Exactly.
Yeah, like taking away the ACOG on Ash helped her.
Yeah.
More than hers.
Like,
it didn't help her any because the people
changed
that
the way she was played.
Well, because now if you want to hold angles, you just use the G36C, which has no recoil almost at all,
That's
and
the thing.
It almost made it worse.
Yeah. The point of it is that like you have to pick now. You can't do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But she's just simply better the other way.
Yeah.
So you just run R4C.
Yeah, she's designed to be run and gun. She is an entry fragger. That's what she's for. You know? And so, but like, yeah, I would say either make Nock a 3-speed for God's sakes, because why not? Like, I guess like, oh no.
Yeah, Cav and Vigil are both 3 speeds.
Right, and that's the thing.
And
like,
she's literally both
and
of them
neither
combined.
of them have ACOGs, so and neither does Nock. Like Nock is just a defender that starts outside.
Yeah.
So like,
it's spookier.
Like, but because my thing is like Vigil, at least he's entirely invisible. He can sprint and still be invisible going across drones. If Nock sprints across your screen, you're gonna follow her the whole time because you're like, what's this weird block going across my screen?
Even if she's crouch walking, you can still see her on the cam because even like it pixels out randomly and you can see it even when she's standing still. Like it doesn't.
Oh, I haven't had that happen.
I've seen her crouch walking across the screen. And
that
I've
means
seen her
she's
stand
done.
still trying to shoot the cam.
That means she has done some action that is considered.
Probably looking counts.
Probably moving because of the whole thing with the new mechanic.
Yeah,
with
turning the camera.
No, you don't have to be standing still for it to happen. Sprinting, like vaulting or like falling, does it. So for all.
That's stupid.
Like, and think about how many things your drones fall off of. So it was probably something like that, where it was this invisible ledge that doesn't even like actually exist, but Nock falls down this little bit.
I understand that it's like, you know, you want to make a map and you want to make it look real, right? Like a real place.
Yeah.
So they just throw shit on the floor, but like. It's so inconvenient for your
It's
drone.
like Texas Roadhouse.
Like,
wait, they changed that to Texas Roadhouse. You can't even throw the peanuts on the ground anymore. I know, isn't that sad?
It is.
God, that was the best part about
getting
that
your
place,
jump
man.
stolen on your drone is just the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling. It doesn't need to happen.
And like some of the objects that you can't go under that are same height as things that you can go under.
That's just so.
Okay, no. The biggest argument for this now is in Outback, next to the window that you used to be able to rappel through that you shouldn't have been able to.
Oh
yeah,
in the
bathroom.
In the bathroom downstairs, the drone hole that leads to outside right there. You go under this little medical cart or whatever that is not as high as your drone is tall. Literally, your camera clips it a little bit every time.
It does.
But you can drive under that, but not all these other things, or jump through all these other railings that you can shoot through otherwise, or that your drone like is just like, nah, that's an invisible wall now. And you're like, just make it a solid railing, or take the metal bars completely away.
Yeah.
Like, all or nothing with those metal bars. Like, white stairs on cafe, great. Perfect fix.
I love it. I love that fix. It's awesome.
Do it everywhere.
Do it everywhere.
Metal bars are the bane of my existence. Especially on console because it's so
Just
much harder to aim.
This
So much
next,
harder to make
like,
the small adjustment.
this
I
next,
wish I was recording a game I played today on PC. We were in OT
Mhm.
on Clubhouse, and we were downstairs defending Arsenal and Church, and it was down to we were attacking. Sorry, because I was spectating a Buck, and it was 1v1. It was, I think, Maestro and Buck. Buck had planted. Buck had planted by the vending machine or refrigerator, or whatever, in Church.
Yeah.
Maestro was in Arsenal because he just killed the other guy that was pushing through blue. So he planted, and then they were both just pre-firing each other. Just leaning like PC players do.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, through no way could you see him, Buck just gets a headshot, and we win. And I was like, yeah, I never see that happen on console.
Right.
You would never see that happen. Not in a million years.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time, which is why one-shot headshots are kind of butt, in my opinion, but they're also necessary in other situations.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of leads into what topic I wanted to talk about, which was Siege, what it used to be when it started out, because I started playing in Velvet Shell, which was the Jackal and Mirror release.
Yeah.
And even then, Siege was still pretty reminiscent of what it started out as, but I think that was also the beginning of the turnaround, because next came Operation Health, and then I think White Noise.
Yeah, they took away the
And
Polish
so,
season because
right at White Noise, I think, is when it started, because that was the first global ability where it was just the push of a button and an ability happens. It affects the entire team. Fuck you if you say otherwise. Other than, like, placing a mute jammer and sitting on it. But beyond that, so Siege went from a game that was, like, tactical decision-making and, like, destruction, vertical playability, and things like that, to that was the very start of it turning into what it is now, which is all gadget based. It's whatever your operator gadget is, and not in the sense of like we didn't bring enough hard breachers to destroy this thing, unless you're talking about like a garage objective or something like that, because otherwise it really doesn't matter, especially in like just ranked, not pro league, where like the higher ranks of like console ranked, I'm not in the higher ranks of PC, so I wouldn't really know, but it's all just you pick a 3-speed and you run in and kill people. It's 100% gunfights.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that can change that is information or operator gadgets. Like, okay, I'm having a hard time hearing where people are coming from because my phone is buzzing in my ear, and Finka's making my heart rate 1,000,000 miles an hour, so I can't hear anything.
See, from what I've played on PC, because I've played maybe like 50, 60 games at this point.
Yeah.
I feel like consoles like that simply because the game is harder to be played how it should be.
Yeah.
On
fair
console,
enough.
like aiming so much harder that you might as well just do that. Like holding a pixel peek on console, you barely get the kill.
Yeah.
All you do is get the information that someone's pushing, and then they've pushed in the room and killed you because you couldn't react fast enough or aim at the correct spot. And so I think the biggest other difference is your sensitivity. So like on a mouse, it doesn't really matter what your sensitivity is because you can just move it wherever you want, however you want.
Yeah.
With a control stick, you hold that thing to the far left as it can go, and it's either going all the way over or barely at all.
Yeah.
You don't get to really choose that. I mean, you get to choose it a little bit. That's what the sensitivity is for.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just why it's harder to aim
I
on
think
console.
that's just where you need to try every
You
single
literally have to
sensitivity,
just keep
see
trying.
what works for you.
And
like vertical and horizontal sensitivities are different.
yeah.
And they should be, because your vertical sensitivity should be way slower because you don't want to come off of head level. but your horizontal sensitivity can be higher because you need to be able to 360 in an instant.
But it's weird because it's only in Siege, like compared to Call of Duty, I don't have the issue. But like the sensitivity speed when they're even, I think it's vertically goes faster than horizontal, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
it's not like that in any other first-person shooter I've ever played, unless like Borderlands.
So the other thing about having low vertical sensitivity on console is another huge thing that separates PC and console is recoil control.
Yeah.
Ella's SMG is insane on PC.
Yeah.
Because there is no recoil because you have a mouse, which is why keyboard and mouse on console just makes you the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You want easy diamond, that's your goal.
True.
I wouldn't be surprised if pretty much every diamond on console is PC and mouse.
Yeah.
Or
keyboard
mouse and keyboard.
PC and mouse.
They're just playing PC on console.
Yeah.
They made their PC a PS4 and...
No, I believe that there are some legit console players because one of them is actually a predominant YouTuber. His name escapes me at this moment, but he is a really good console player, and he plays console Siege, and he's diamond and whatnot, and he's made a few videos of like the difference and stuff, and he's pretty much my source of like, not many people play strategically at this level. It's not about destruction, it's not about whatever, it's about how well you can shoot that person in the head and how quickly.
Exactly. And if it wasn't a one-shot headshot, I feel like that would definitely take that away.
100%.
People wouldn't be playing as aggressive like that. I mean, you still have the people that would.
Absolutely still have people
because
who would try.
that's just how it's...
Yeah, because then you're on even ground still.
Yeah.
Whether it's a one-shot headshot or not, that just means their pixel peak doesn't work on you anymore. So attackers have the advantage now.
Yeah, and it's like, at the same time, even if it wasn't a one-shot headshot, the time to kill is still fast.
Yeah, it is.
To the body, to where that running and gunning is still going to happen.
Yeah.
So, it would only really get rid of stupid kills that shouldn't happen, but it would also ruin a lot of skill.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, the reason the defenders have the quote advantage is because they've got time to set up a defense and a strategy that's going to funnel and force the attackers to do a certain thing, unless the attackers brought the utility to say otherwise. And when you know where the attack is going to be coming from, you can hold angles that they aren't expecting unless they drone right. It's all in the attacker's hands to counter the strategy that's already set up by the defense. So your responsibility as a defender after the strategy is set up is just holding angles, which is so insane if you have one-shot headshots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because especially on PC, like pixel peaks are just tap, 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 and someone's dead. But on PC, it's a lot easier to answer a pixel peak by just shooting. Spraying.
Yeah.
Like you just hold. Like on PC is the main difference. I've been killed by my own pixel peaks so many times. But on console, I've killed 4 people from the same pixel peak because people are like, I want to try, and then they die.
And I feel like that has to do with recoil, though.
Yeah,
because like they can just hold that spot on PC. While
like
on console, they get like their first chance, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Like Skyscraper is one of those examples where you get 4 kills from the same peak where you look from T-room to tower.
Yeah, T-room to tower, I've got a little pixel peak under the window, and people just try it. Every time. If I get 1 kill there, they want to get the revenge kill next round or something like that. And the same goes for like looking out of the karaoke window. They're like, hold on, I just got shot at by who? And it's like, bro, I'm holding an angle and we're on console. You can't challenge me unless you get a lucky headshot. And that's all it'll be is luck. Because like, sure, you can try to line up the angle, but while you're doing that, I'm going to shoot you in the head.
I had an example of that on Chalet when we were playing a game. I was dying of laughter. I was crying. I was laughing so hard about something. Somebody was peeking my spawn from kitchen, and I just out of nowhere flick and shoot and just one tap the kid, and I just stand there and I'm just like it was the luckiest headshot, but I've also had situations where I correctly countered it with Hereford base. Though when the guy killed you, the next round he did it again, and I walk up and I know exactly where he's at, and I just
you do the jiggle peek, like the quick lean.
Oh yeah.
I call it my mirror peek.
The mirror peek. Because you line up where it's gonna be while you're looking through the mirror, and then
you just quick lean, boom, that guy's dead. And that's another thing, the difference between PC is the shielder. You can do that with a shielder on PC.
Yeah.
You can just
you're just a mobile mirror.
Yeah, you're a mobile mirror for yourself because you can lean without having to ADS. Yeah. So you just line up where it's gonna be, lean.
Could you imagine if you can lean without ADS, and then whenever you pull out your pistol, you lean again? And you're like dangling upside down.
You're at a 90 degree lean.
Yeah. That'd be wild, dude. But then your head would be at like even more because it would tilt to the right.
Yeah.
So your shield would be 90 degrees and your head be peeking at the bottom of it.
Your legs exposed, your midsection covered by a shield, and then your head exposed.
Like the visual glitch in kill cams.
Yeah, it would look like raptor
like where
legs.
your shield's just inside of you.
Yeah.
But I know you wanted to talk about shielders. What did you want to get at with shielders?
I want to get at. I heard some talk about it, and I know Matimio made a video about it, but some people really hate the aspect, and I personally don't like it because I don't like shielders too much. I'm not a shield main. I don't play shielders almost at all.
I play a lot of shielders, so I got a lot to say.
You can R6 track that and prove the fact that he doesn't play shielders. I think his lowest played off is Montaigne. So.
But a lot of people don't like the RNG factor of just hip firing, and some people want to get rid of that on just all shielders in general. They want it to be strictly defense. Like, I know on Montaigne it'd be the best one for it because you can put up a shield. You can't do that regardless. But like, especially like Blitz, where you can just like, he can flash you almost no matter what. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten flashed when I'm even looking away from him, and then he just randomly shoots me in the head, and I can't do anything about it. And like, is there like, do you guys think there's anything that could be done by Ubisoft to like maybe fix that, or do you think like maybe they need a nerf or even a buff in some certain way?
I think Montaigne is actually fine. My problem lies with Blitz. I think that there are too many stupid situations on both sides, playing Blitz and fighting a Blitz, where you die or get a kill where you just shouldn't have. And I don't know how to fix it, but I feel like he needs a nerf and a buff, because he is too much of a powerhouse by himself, but he also like
has a
paper mache shield and flash that decides to not flash people.
And sometimes it just flashes people.
And like, when I'm not talking about like stupid kills where like you flash them and they still kill you and they're actually flashed. I think that's another thing they should change too. Kill cams. Well, I get that they want you to see how you died. I want to know if they're flashed.
Someone on Reddit actually posted a really interesting graphical user interface suggestion where it just says like, so you get to see their loadout and their information and stuff when you get killed by them, you know, and you see their health and everything. They just have a little thing under there that says, it's like a timer bar that says they were flashed and where it was on the timer.
Well, like the,
because you know how it goes away,
like Pro League's bomb plant.
Kind of. Yeah, exactly like that. And so, because you know how when you're flashed, it goes away a little bit at a time, so like you can kind of see.
That's what I was gonna say, but I let you finish. I was like, well, what if you're not all the way flashed?
Right.
So
it's got a timer like that goes down. So if the bar is like almost gone, you're like, oh well, they were basically not flashed anymore.
Yeah.
But if it's full, you're like, they got a lucky blind kill.
Yeah. That'd be better. That'd be better than it just being a white screen.
I think on Blitz it would be acceptable to take away hipfire, simply because he can flash them and then he can just hit down sights.
I guess that's
the
thing. It's just
I
not
don't know.
very
Against me,
logical
it's
for shielders,
like
though.
it doesn't matter if I'm literally like turned the other direction, running away all the way across the room. I still get flashed and then just get killed.
My thing is lean spamming is still very much a thing especially for shielders.
Yeah.
You know. And whether or not, like, how often do you actually get a purposeful headshot on someone unless they've got a shield in front of them? Because, like, yeah, if they're aiming at you with their shield up, you're like, okay, so they're not going to shoot me, but they could. They could get a lucky hip-fire headshot, or they could empty 16 rounds and not hit you once. Which, that's the RNG, so to me, that's entirely fair. But the thing is, like, when they ADS, they still have a shield covering most of their body, especially if they're crouched.
Yeah.
It's just so scary to see this tiny little half man that you can't shoot except for his head.
Yeah.
Especially because we all play on console a lot. So, like, on PC, it's a lot easier. You're just like, okay, ADS, do it.
But the thing is, the blitzes also have an easier time shooting you.
Exactly. And he's having an easier time
people on PC run with their pistols out because they can just headshot people.
And because, actually, I've started doing it on a console a lot is because pistols make you legitimately move faster. It's the mobility rating down at the bottom. Pistols have a better mobility rating than most other guns.
That's why a lot of people off of spawn immediately switch to their pistol and just bolt.
Yeah, whip it out and run. But, like, I definitely do it with shielders. I put my shield away to run to the building. As spawn peeking is nasty, though.
Yeah, that'll ruin your day.
It does.
Ruins your day when you don't do that and you still die to the spawn peek.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But, so, like, I genuinely think, I don't think ADSing is the problem with shielders, because things like, honestly, an underrated opinion here, fuse still exist.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. PMM is one of the strongest pistols in the game. It's a 2-shot body shot to anybody in the game. And it's on a shielder. And it's got 9 in the mag. It's got 9. 8 in the mag and 1 in the chamber. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm assuming on PC you see him using the shield more often, because on console I almost never see anything.
I don't think people opt for the shield because the AK is like the best assault rifle.
He has the best assault rifle in the game.
Yeah, it's statistically it's just the best gun in the game, but there's definitely like merits to using the shield, and it's for like controlling people, like where, like, say I plant a fuse upstairs and then I go downstairs, so I can fuse the room that I'm in and still live because it's just bouncing off of my shield and I'm just shooting at the ants running away from me.
Yeah.
You know, and I've started doing it on console and it just works. Either you get the kill with the fuse because they're like, hey, that guy's got a shield, and for whatever reason, Fuse is one of the hardest people to hit with a shield, even though he's so fat and he sticks out around it. I just can't shoot him. Because I think it's all his clothes. And so it, like, just doesn't register. But when I play Fuse, I get shot in the shoulder and die every time.
Yeah.
But there's been so many cases where, like, people just run at me if I'm the last one left and I'm Fuse and I'm like, and I have my shield. I've still got a PMM, guys. You're still gonna die 2 shots every time.
Yeah.
I think that to fix that part of shielders just dying randomly, but like also it would just make them way overpowered.
Yeah.
Is like Fuse and Blitz, sadly Blitz, should have like the same sort of effect that Monty and Clash have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Monty only has it when he's extended, and Clash is always extended, but like it covers them.
Yeah.
So you are just purely safe from getting shot around your shield because something was sticking out when it shouldn't have, or wasn't, period, and you still got hit by it because the shield hitbox was weird and you were positioned slightly at an angle. But I don't know a way to like nerf it at the same time because you can't do that and keep them how they are. At least Blitz.
I think we should just have Ajax.
God,
Opens it up, he sticks his block through, and he just unloads.
Yeah, that's balanced. That was
and
a
he
great
can full
choice.
sprint with it.
Yeah. You
God,
just
that's
full sprinting, can't get shot at, just unloading hip fire.
God,
through
rest
that.
You can hit him
Call
through
of
the
Duty.
slot, but that thing is tiny.
It's okay, I'm using a Titan, it doesn't have recoil. But no, like, real talk, I genuinely don't know what the best solution is, but I think to sum it up, a good way to word it is that
Ban Blitz.
RNG is fair, but it isn't fun.
Yeah.
And that's what shielders are. They're purely RNG because it let's face it, with the hit reg that Siege has, it's a crapshoot of whether or not you're actually going to shoot the shielder in the head when he ADSs, or if he's going to shoot you in the head. And that's a ping thing as well, or if you're going to get shot in the shoulders, or if it's going to say that was actually your armor so you didn't get hit, he just shot your clothes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all, it feels like RNG, so it's not fun for anybody. Because you're terrified when you're a defender, and you're terrified when you're an attacker. So, like, I don't know what a good solution would be, but I think there does need to be one. Because, as I said for Hipfire, it's balanced, but that doesn't make it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you either get headshot a mile away from a lucky Hipfire, or, like I said, in my cases, you unload 3 mags and don't hit a shot.
That's actually, like, going into what I wanted to talk about was
The hit reg.
The hit registration and the desync issue with, like, when you break a hatch and you go down through it, but then all of a sudden you just, boop, you're back at the top, and you're just infinitely stuck in a cycle of dropping.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens with drones, it happens with, like, there's too many situations where it can happen.
Yeah.
And it is a really big issue, but my biggest issue is the hit shot, or the headshot at any shot, really, because
hit registration.
Just hit registration in general, because, like, we were playing Theme Park the other day. I knew that there was some a Jaeger and barrels, and I spawned right where the spawn peak was because I knew exactly where it was. I knew where it was going to be. I challenged it. I shot. I got blood splatter on the wall. He was crouched, and I could only see his head. What did I hit?
Hit his neck.
What did I hit?
Hit his neck.
You hit the
You
guy
hit the
behind
squirrel that was jumping in the window.
I hit the invisible ant.
No, you hit the guy behind him. Yeah.
God, and the whole shooting
That
dead
was
bodies
funny.
thing. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 chance that your bullet's going to go through a dead body.
Yeah.
And they need to fix that server side issue where sometimes you are seeing a dead bot, or is that server side or what?
Client side.
Client side.
It needs to be server side, so it's all the same.
Yeah.
Because I've had issues where I was peeking an angle, and I saw somebody and I shoot, but that dead body's there, but it's not there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they shoot me through where that dead body is and kill me, but my shot hit the dead body rather than their head.
I think the easiest solution to that is just make dead bodies a penetrable.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
When I found out that they weren't, I was not happy.
Should they do the new thing where it takes 33% of the bullet damage away after the first service, like they do the walls?
With the walls.
No, I don't think they should because of that. It already takes away some of your vision, and it's not a movable object. Like
you can't keep shooting the body and it'll move away.
Yeah.
It's not like Halo where you can just teabag and melee a grunt to oblivion.
Yeah. But no, the Hot Breach podcast actually covered the client to server things like destruction and body spawning and things like that. And what it is there's a lot going on the server side already, so if they did all that destruction on servers and bodies and blood and all that, it would be a lot for the servers to process, and hit reg would get worse because it would be processing all this other useless garbage.
I never thought I'd say this, ever, but that's where Battlefield has it right.
How do you mean?
They have all of that server side.
Mm-hmm.
They have all of that destruction, and their destruction is literal buildings falling down.
Yeah.
And it's not an issue. Why is Siege having such a big issue with it? Like, games have done this stuff. They need to learn from that. Like, Call of Duty has, server side wise, is one of the smoothest games you'll ever play. There's not that many issues with it. Siege is just a mishmash of mistakes.
Yeah.
They aren't looking at what other people do and try to adopt that.
I think there are a couple of there's probably a lot of intricate reasons why they can't do stuff like that. Like the fact that EA servers compared to Ubisoft servers are vastly different. I'm completely making assumptions here.
I mean, yeah, but CG's using baked potato.
But like EA just is a bigger company. They're a conglomerate at this point. They just own a lot more different game companies that they can use their own servers, or they can use EA servers, things like that. Ubisoft is using Ubisoft servers and only Ubisoft servers. So they've also got a bunch of other games, so their server space is limited.
I feel like part of it also might be the game engine that it's used on.
I completely agree. Like, it's made on the Assassin's Creed engine.
Because the Frostbite engine, as much as I hate EA, the Frostbite engine, it truly was revolutionary with how it handled the destruction of objects and how it interacted with everything around you and how it didn't really affect the gameplay of shots registering correctly. I feel like they're using a subpar server for the game.
Yeah.
Or not server, an engine. They designed
I'm not
the
sure
game
it's
on
the
that
engine. I'm not sure it's the engine because this engine has been revolutionary with it too because of it's not just a destruction thing. Like in Battlefield, you destroy a building, you can shoot where that building isn't, and if you shoot where it is, if you're using a regular bullet, there's no penetration. That bullet stops on that building. You know? But if you're in Siege, depending on the surface, the bullet penetrates that, and that is the revolutionary part. There's the penetration, and the destruction is mapped out in a sense that like there are 3 sections to a barricade when you punch, like a normal window-sized barricade. When you punch it, there's the right, left, and middle parts, and then however many like little
3
pieces of wood.
I think.
Yeah, there are 3. It's 3 wide. But
I think it's 3 up though too.
No,
I think when you punch, doesn't it take up 2?
It depends on how you punch it, but
you can punch out one board.
They individually fall as one board, but they are 3 breaks wide basically, and you can break 2 at a time if you want. But they are 3 spaces wide essentially. But the shape of those pieces that fall is what they are working on, and the shape of the windowsill in like basically the hitbox of the windowsill as far as the destruction goes is also what they're working on. And you can tell that they've been making changes to try, because they can't take it away and they can't put it server side. Because they've said why they can't take it away is because it's information. When you break a barricade, you pull it down and you put one back up, it leaves that destruction on both sides. So if someone drones it, or if someone's walking up to a barricade and they see that there's broken wood on the outside of it, you say, okay, someone broke this before. They could be sitting there, and it's a cue, it's a tell.
Yeah.
But so that's why they can't take it away, and that's why they can't say that, you know, a minute and a half after it's been broken, it melts into the floor.
What engine did you say that they were using?
The Assassin's Creed engine.
Do you know what engine that is?
I don't know actually the name of the engine.
I don't know much about I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan. You are. Do you know?
No.
Are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up though. But
okay,
no,
because if it's not the Frostbite engine,
do you know like
EA normally?
I have a feeling they switched to Unreal 4 though in the recent ones. So
in the Assassin's Creeds?
Yeah, I feel like the new one, or at least the new one, is on Unreal 4.
If they're not using Frostbite and they're not using Unreal, then they're using a engine specifically designed for Assassin's Creed, which I feel like is almost worse because that's designed for a single player game and not for a multiplayer.
It actually had decent multiplayer in some of their games.
It did. Like Brotherhood was awesome. That multiplayer was honestly, in my opinion, what saved
Anvil
Assassin's
next.
Creed.
Anvil next.
That's what I got. Yeah.
Is that what you looked up, the Siege engine?
Anvil. Anvil is a game engine created in 2007 by Ubisoft.
So that's probably.
It's a pretty old engine.
It's got For Honor on it.
Yep. You can kind of feel.
You can
feel
the clunkiness.
No.
Like
it's not.
I understand
the clunkiness is. Just how they want it to be, though.
Yeah.
I understand doing that, but like, do at least what DICE is done with the Frostbite engine,
Update it.
update it. Just fucking update it.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You're using an engine from 2007.
I lied.
Unreal Engine has
What'd you
done the
lie about?
same thing.
They're all on Anvil. All the Assassin's Creeds are on Anvil.
Okay.
That.
But yeah, like it's definitely a really good engine, and they're still learning new things about what they can do with it. But like they need to do something about destruction sitting there, because the example that they used for like when you break the glass of a window, how it sits at the bottom of the windowsill and prevents spawn peeking sometimes. That's a balancing choice that they made, like on Cafe on top floor when you try to peek out from piano and cigar, and the little white pieces of window are in your way for you, but not in your way for the people looking at you. That's frustrating, but it's something that like it's really weird. They need to make a way, if it's client side, they need to make you be able to interact with it client side. So like your gun needs to have a hitbox as far as scraping that stuff off the window or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I know sometimes I've just straight up walked into the window and it kind of brushes it aside.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always work.
Right.
If like the glass isn't
And you
broken,
can,
then
you
it
can
can't
shoot
fall
it,
out.
but you know, no one wants to
Well,
do that.
You actually
also-
can't. Your bullets don't interact with it after it's broken.
One of the
Oh.
things I read about with the patch for the start of this season that I feel like, I don't know if it changed, I haven't really seen the difference, is they said that they fixed the way barricades break and fall.
Yeah.
I honestly
It feels
feel like
worse.
it's worse. When you looked at the demonstration of what it was supposed to be, far better. When you put it into context,
Yeah.
far worse. I don't know what happened
Well,
along the lines.
I wonder-
I feel like that's just something with Siege, where when they release a patch, something from 2 years ago.
You guys ever
Gets
played that
reverted.
game where like you've got this tube with a bunch of sticks stuck in it and some marbles
Yes.
or whatever?
Yeah.
It's like
Kerplunk.
it's like playing Kerplunk. It feels like they pull one stick to try to fix a glitch, and like 900
Next thing you
other
know,
sticks.
drop shotting's back in the game.
Exactly.
Like
You know, like they
That's so
pull
good
one
to
stick and then all of a sudden IQ's
You
unfixable.
can still do it.
they pull one stick, and all of a sudden Ash doesn't have a head hitbox anymore.
And IQ is just unfixable. It seems they fix one thing and it breaks another, and it breaks a different way. So they got to fix it again, and then again, and
And it's
again,
happening with
and
Clash
now
like
it's
that.
different. Now it's a completely different thing where she whips out her viewfinder gadget, but she's got her ACOG
Yeah,
still.
I
At
saw
least
that.
with Clash, it's similar
At least with
issues.
Clash, you can't kill her and you still die.
Yeah, but like no, I'm at least it's not an issue with IQ where it's like the invisibility glitch,
Yeah.
the all this other stuff. It's glitches revolving around her shield, which unfortunately is her entire operator. So they kind of just need to. I honestly feel like it's at the point where they need to
Rework.
just remove both of them from the game again, temporarily,
Well,
and
yeah.
sit there and do
Like,
not rush putting them back in the
I
game.
wanna
It
say-
doesn't matter. But don't do what they did before, where they took out they removed Clash, they removed Claymores, not IQ. They should have simply just completely removed IQ and kept Claymores, because that recoiled to a whole bad situation of run out city.
Yes.
Skyscraper.
Best map.
But
Best
And
map.
Border.
again.
I think there's
Yeah.
an interesting tie-in to a lot of the things that, if you'll hear me out, I can explain. But it's to a lot of the things we've discussed, and it's Ubisoft's greed. You know, we discussed our frustration with the difference between PC and console, and part of it being that if you want to change, you lose all your cosmetics. That's not the biggest deal in the world, but the reason is because they want you to buy them again.
It matters to people.
And it matters to people. You lose all your operators, you have to buy them again if you want to speed that up, or you buy a booster if you want to get them faster. That's greedy, and that's Demented. His
Demented yogurt.
Pumo. I don't know whatever his Demented is.
He's
this time.
demented.
Yeah.
He's just a demented
But the guy I
object.
bought the PC version for, that's his. He's just it's opened his eyes to the greed of Ubisoft. And the other thing is, Ubisoft could do a lot of good just taking some time to breathe between seasons and fix stuff.
Like have a preseason?
Like have a pre and post season, but they won't because that means no esports, which means no money.
Yeah.
And like, I understand the Showdown was a fun game mode.
Yeah.
But instead of releasing Rootin' Tootin' Recruit Shootin', fix some damn issues with the game rather than giving us a shiny new thing. Ooh, look, it's a plaything.
Yeah,
Which
and
by the way, that boss sheet challenge is not even anywhere close. We're not even at.
We're halfway there now.
No, we're not even halfway there. I checked when I first got on. It was at 2.5 mil.
I don't know the inner workings of the developers at Ubisoft, but
they're just a bunch of chimpanzees.
It would be possible to have a dedicated team to like do this bug fixing stuff and still release content for your game.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing that or not, or if they did just say never mind, let's do this instead. I have a feeling trying to not make Ubisoft seem like bad people, that they would have had separate teams doing that, or if it would have not been possible.
One of my favorite videos is video games described in one sentence, and it got to Wildlands. Is that
Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon Wildlands, and it's this game could have been Game of the Year if it was released 2 years later. I feel like the biggest issue with Ubisoft, they make good games, but it takes too long for them to get there. They're a quarter of the way done.
Like
if Ubisoft would just take a little bit of more time to focus on the things, to polish them, to honestly do what Gearbox is doing with Borderlands 3. They're taking their time. It's 7 years since
look
6
at what they're
years
doing
since
with
pre-sequel.
Look at what's happening with Gears 5 though too.
Right, like it's
Gears 5. Developers. They're just listening. They're implementing everything that the customers are asking.
Any Rockstar game. It's not about quantity. We care about quality. That's what it comes down to. Rockstar takes how many years between GTA 4 and GTA 5? That's 7 or 8 years, and look at how massive and good GTA 5 was, and is to this day.
That
it is
what the most sold game ever, whatever the title is. I don't know. Sold the most copies out of any game ever on Earth.
It's one of those things where it's just take some more time. You guys have the right ideas. You're just rushing the projects.
Yeah.
It's.
But I'll say, to get a really good insight, you two, I don't know if you've seen it, Mecro, but you said you've been watching the Hot Breach podcast a little more, but the episode that they had the community dev leader on, and he answered so many of the questions that Jackal, that you complain about, he explains what the process of fixing a glitch is and why it takes so long. Because even if they know about a glitch the day it comes out, it could be 3 or 4 weeks before that fix is put on console, just because of the legal hoops that they have to jump through.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot harder to fix something on console than on PC.
I would rather them. I wish they would do hot fixes, but that's something that's a little bit harder for a game where Siege is such a complex game on its base level. But
Can we link that video, that specific Hot Breach episode?
Yeah, I
because
just don't know which one it is. I haven't seen it.
We'll go through and find it, because it's, for real, it was so enlightening to hear an actual dev of Siege talk and answer so many of these questions. And he was more honest than he should have been, according to the guy. They had another guy monitoring him and to make sure he didn't say anything he wasn't supposed to.
I would almost rather have that other guy not be there and him just be open with us, because that's what we deserve as the people who are paying for this product.
Well, it was just to make sure he didn't give away any secrets.
Yeah, that I understand that, but
which is why he was more honest than he should have, because he talked about they have this thing called the fridge, where if they come up with an operator idea and it's decent, but they need to work on it, or like hell, they even flesh it out and they're like, this operator's ready to freaking go, but it's just not the right time to release them. They just shove it in a box somewhere and they're like, all right, whenever that thing is ready to go, we'll just press a button and it's out. And so they've got like just operators tucked away in corners. So like, that's why I'm like, why can't they spend more time fixing things then? Because
creating.
Yeah, or fixing. Because they've done so much creating.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Take more time fixing than creating.
Oh, yeah.
You already have so much saved up.
Exactly.
They're just trying to hit that hundo.
Yeah. and again, that goes back to greed. Like, they don't want to stop. They don't want to have a break between seasons because that means they're not selling things.
They do need to kind of like have those operators set to go, but I think for the year, right? Because they need 2 operators a season, right?
Yeah, 4 seasons a year.
Yeah, exactly. So
make it 3 seasons a year. Have breaks.
Have breaks.
And don't be afraid to take time with things. Like, I understand all the legal hoops with fixing stuff with console, but
that's why IQ was on PC before console.
Yeah,
when they got unfixed.
I don't mind the fact that when they removed the operators, they took their time with it. That's like a perfect example of taking time with things. Like, look at where Siege was when it first came out, how the player base was barely there.
Yeah.
And then look at how it just skyrocketed. It's the 3rd most played game on Steam.
Yeah. On stream.
On stream, it's like
on stream,
top
sometimes.
15.
Yeah.
But like, it's
Pro League
depends on if Shroud is playing.
Yeah, that's fair. Pro League gets like 8,000 viewers.
If they would have taken those first years where the game was released and just didn't release it, what could have happened could be endless
They're brilliant
possibilities.
questions, but another thing to remember is that we misspeak sometimes, and it's not the dev's fault.
No, and it's not I don't want it to seem like it's the dev's fault.
It's purely the board members or the people that hold the financial power over the devs.
Yeah,
it's like
because they're
just
forced
like
to put out games so fast. Like
devs are
Activision,
just slaves in
it's
front
just
of a
like
computer.
it's just like
Activision
fast
with
food.
Call
You
of Duty.
complain to the cashier, but they didn't do anything.
Activision with Call of Duty, they literally force them to do things that they don't want to do. Like with all these issues with Black Ops 4, with all the now they went back to their old ways with Treyarch, with putting the guns behind reserves, where you can at least now earn them in game.
Yeah.
But essentially, you have to pay if you want to get the best chance.
Another good parallel.
How that isn't necessarily Treyarch's fault. That might be Activision saying, "We want your fucking money."
Yeah, and another good parallel is the new Pokemon thing. Like with Pokemon Sword and Shield, they're getting a lot of like backlash online because they're like, the graphics look butt, the animations are poo, and we don't have as many Pokemon as we should. And everyone's like, fix this. And they're like, well, we can't because it's got to be released by November. Sorry.
Push it back. They did with Animal Crossing.
But the thing is, everyone's argument is,
everyone's yelling at Game Freak themselves.
Everyone's
and it's
yelling
not
at
Game Freak.
Because they're saying, we never asked you to release this game yearly. We just asked you to release a quality game whenever it comes out. We never asked for it to be a yearly title or a yearly thing. But someone did. It might not have been the customers, but someone did.
Publishers
are the big
issue.
The shareholders and things like that. Those people literally ask them and tell them, release a game every year, you're gonna die.
They
Big bag Nintendo coming down.
All of these shareholders.
It's one of their heavy hitters, so like Nintendo needs it.
And the thing is, so we as customers may not have asked them to release a game every year, but we have told them with our money that we will buy it every year if you release it.
Yeah. All of these
go on strike.
No,
don't buy.
I like Pokemon
all of these,
too much.
And that's the mentality that is preventing it from being fixed.
I'm gonna buy it. It looks great, but like all these publishers, I know,
but so am I.
But I personally don't have a problem.
We
with
are
the
same.
I don't. I think it's so ridiculous, and I hate seeing that argument. I get it. Like the one big thing for me, as you guys know, I don't know how much I've actually done. I had showdown battles on YouTube, so I play competitively on Pokemon.
Yeah.
Occasionally. Not really on the actual console because I don't have the hoops to do that because I'm not going to breed. Who does that? But that's the only thing that I see. And I never actually saw the interview or whatever where Miyazaki said it.
Yeah.
Or Miyazaki.
That's Dark Souls.
That's Dark Souls. Masuda. Junichi Masuda, that's his name. I never actually saw the interview where he said it, but there was something people were complaining about the 7th gen Wi-Fi battle because of Mega Evolving and all these stones that it's just like ruining and you have to plan for so much, and then they said they would fix it in 8th gen. And 8th gen rolls around and they don't even have all of the Pokemon there.
Oh, I like that you said rolls around because they got they blow up their Pokemon like balloons.
Yeah.
What is it, Gigantivolve or whatever?
Dynamax.
It's Dynamax and
Dynamax.
Gigamax. And Gigamax changes the form, like changes the look of the Pokemon completely. Like the ice cream Pokemon that they were showed, it turns that into a Gigantamax and literally turns it into a giant pink cake.
Why does Dynamax sound like an upgrade in Fallout?
It I feel like that's a product that like an AutoZone product that you would go in and buy. Like I feel like it's the battery. I know it's not, but I feel like it sounds like a battery.
It either sounds like a Nuka-Cola flavor, or it sounds like something in Borderlands where you find a Dynamax product. It sounds like one of the companies.
Sounds like a gun company.
But either way,
Dynamax.
It's not
Gigamax.
Developers aren't the problems with the games. I mean,
Sometimes.
sometimes yeah.
Well, yeah,
but like
sometimes developers produce shit stuff.
Yeah, sometimes the developers are just bad. But
the shareholders
when it comes to like a game long term, it's not always the developer's fault, but most of the time it can be. Like with Siege, it's a long-term game, right? They want to jump to the next-gen consoles. They want to hit the 100 operators.
Yeah. But I think they chose a poor time to do it.
Yeah.
Because they should have released it when PS4 started, but as a good game, without that 2 years of, hold on, we need to fix the game before we, like... You know, the trademark Ubisoft release it and then wait 2 years for it to
And I think it's also... It's a little weird because when you think about FPSs, I mean, we play Siege, so obviously we think of Siege. But like the biggest ones that I think about are Call of Duty. That's like the FPS.
I play Call of Duty. I put more time in Call of Duty than I have Siege, like over the past couple years. I think
that's over the entire time of my gaming career. I put more hours
over
in Call of Duty.
But like over the past like 2 or 3 Call of Duties,
and then I don't even know. I would say I'm pretty sure Overwatch is more popular competitively than Siege, and
I don't know anymore. Overwatch definitely
has died out pretty hard.
It died pretty fast, but Siege hasn't grown quite as much as they wanted.
But if you also just go by their like view count, Siege has less than 10,000 when Pro League's on, unless it's one of the huge events. But Overwatch and Call of Duty, and is there another?
To be fair,
I don't even know if there is another one.
Pro League for Siege streams at like midnight at the earliest.
They stream all day.
For their regular, I guess for a play day they stream all day.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's the same thing with like League of Legends, the top esport of the world.
Yeah. Dota 2 is actually the top esport.
We don't care about Dota 2.
League is better.
They stream whenever, because all of their stuff's on LAN. Yeah. Pro League isn't.
Yes, exactly. Pro League is on the internet, and then they have like their big Pro League events, like finals, the Invitational.
So that's why Pro League streams all day, because they do each region by a time zone. So like
they do each region every play day. Is that true?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought each region had its own play day. I could be completely wrong.
I could be completely wrong. I mean, I leave Pro League on because of my new work schedule. Afterwards.
I watch the VODs, and only of the teams that I want to watch, e.g., that's pretty much it. Or I'll watch the entirety of the big event and still not get my diamond charm, but I'm not salty.
But
Bastards.
it's like they might not do, because I don't actually listen too much. I usually just have it on muted while I play another game, either Siege or I've been playing Far Cry 5 now for the first time.
So good. Such a good game. That's the game that broke Ubisoft's mold.
But it's like I think, what time is it? Like 6 a.m. is whenever I see that the stream starts. I think it's Latin America.
Oh yeah.
And then
Every time?
I think so.
Okay.
And then like towards midday it's EU, and then like at night it's NA.
Okay.
I think that's what I've seen. Maybe it's just some days.
I don't know.
I because
genuinely
like
am sure.
not each team. I don't think each team play. Well, I guess there's only 8 teams in each region, right? So that's 4 games.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like math it.
Something like that.
So they do have enough time to do it. It's
Yeah.
four games each region a day. Each
4 hours.
each series, depending, takes like
Usually the VODs are about an hour.
yeah.
Because there's the casting in between and the interviews afterwards.
So I feel like they have enough time to do all the regions in the same day, and I feel like I've at least seen it once.
Mhm.
So I don't really pay too much attention, but I think they do, and they stream all day, and then they have like the days off and whatever. So they don't do it at inconvenient times.
Right.
It's just not as popular of an FPS to other people, because like
Fair enough.
Overwatch's Pro League streams, whatever the Overwatch League, it's one of the top 5 whenever it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Blows me away.
unless Shroud's streaming, Siege isn't one of the top 5.
Fair enough.
League is always top 5.
Yeah, so is Fortnite.
Yeah, but
Fortnite's dumb.
when it first came out was a good game, and then it just
There's
kind
just
of
so
evolved.
much about
There's-
it now.
Like, there's just so much about it to dislike.
Well, I
And
mean,
it's-
they've just like there's so many different elements. Like there's a storyline. What? Like come on. Just let me shoot people, man.
Like, I feel like for me, the battle royale genre has kind of dried up. Like, I'm
It's
kind of
getting
sick of
there.
it.
Well, thank God too, because
Like,
like
why-
now it's not like every game that comes out is like we're gonna put a battle royale mode in it.
Fallout 76 said, "Hey, guess what, guys? We're gonna put a battle royale in." What the fuck are you guys doing? You guys released like
I was just
Fallout
waiting.
76 had so much potential, and then they just shit the bed with it, and then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna patch this game a bunch. Still kind of not there. So you know what we're gonna do to push it over the edge? Battle royale.
Kill the servers.
Cowboy mode.
No,
Honestly,
We're gonna ban our
I'm
best
still,
player.
I'm still waiting for the Pokemon battle royale.
Pokemon Battle Royale? What is that? You just airdrop in and go catch Pokemon and kill people?
Yeah.
Alright. Down.
I honestly though, like that.
You gotta
actually
pick up
kinda-
balls and find your Pokemon. And
Like there's just random Pokemon spawn throughout the map.
yeah.
Dude, why are we
It
giving,
would.
why are we giving Game Freak these ideas?
Why
What if
is
they
there
do it?
not a
'Cause-
Pokemon MMO yet?
It would be like in
Damn though, that's the truth right there.
Because it would be like
Because
in
they
the
can't
Let's
do
Go
it.
games where like you walk into an area and they spawn around you based on the area
Right.
or whatever. Maybe not based on the area. Maybe it's random.
It'd probably be random.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because if it were
Yeah,
ba-
I mean, in Battle Royales,
but,
like you got
what
your
if you
high
find a
loot,
chest?
so
Yeah, you know.
it's just Pokemon just pop out of this box.
No, you find a Pokeball that's already loaded with
It's
a
just
Pokemon.
Oh, that would work.
Grass,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
that's
And it's
fair.
like, hey, I got Mewtwo. Guess I win
Yeah, let's make Mewtwo not
in the game.
in the game.
Okay.
Let's not use legendaries.
Let's
But
stick
then
to you.
You can pick up like other
Caterpie.
like health boosts or like items and things like that too. You climb a tree and you get some berries.
Yeah.
You shake it a little bit, throw your balls at it, knock the
I think-
berries out.
I think Call of Duty was right to put the battle royale in because
It worked.
they pushed.
It was it was the battle royale that the genre needed.
And yes, it
was really good.
It set the new standard for battle royales and what it should be, and I think that was the perfect move by Activision and Treyarch.
To be fair, the bar was still pretty low.
The bar was low, really low, but now it's high.
It's high because.
And I don't think another company can top that.
You take such a seasoned,
the closest
critically
is
acclaimed game.
Yeah, Apex is a lot of fun. The only problems I have with Apex is the 3-person squad because we have 5 people that play.
Yeah, they said they were going to put 4-person squads in, and they said they were going to put solos in, and duos.
And then the only problem I have with it is that you can't crossplay like you can with Fortnite. That was the only reason I played Fortnite. Was because you guys played on console. I didn't like Fortnite, but I could play on PC.
If they put Titanfall mechs in Apex Legends, I swear to God, that's going to ruin that game.
Well, they already put in for friggin' like dinosaurs or whatever.
Well, those were the ones that were already on the outside of the map.
I know, but now they're in the map. Is the problem?
Yeah, but they were moving, so it kind of makes sense, that they would.
But why couldn't it just be moving in the background as decoration? Huh? Why do they have to step on people and kill them for the victory? I saw a video of that. I would be so.
That's hilarious.
I already didn't want to play the game, and now I just never want to look at it again. A guy got stepped on by a dinosaur to lose the game. You know he broke a controller.
You know there was a TV broken that day.
To be honest, I didn't know there was. I haven't seen anything about Apex recently. So
the last thing I saw about Apex is that they had a huge bug that caused a lot of their player base to stop playing, and that was while you were sliding, you still had hip fire. Like because you can aim and slide and shoot, right? And Shroud talked about this. That's like 80% of the game is sliding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you just slide down a hill.
So
just keep going forever.
Like that's just how you play the combat. That's how you have your mobility during gunfights is sliding and shooting people.
Yeah.
And they had a glitch where when you were aimed in, you could still have hip fire. So like your bullet could just not go where you're looking and go completely like down at the ground or off in the distance. And Shroud was like, I'm not playing until it's fixed. And I guess it's fixed because he's playing it again.
I was like, when Shroud publicly says he's done with a game, people are also done with that game.
Right. Whether he was serious or not.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, he's done with PUBG, but that's because he got banned.
Did he really?
Well, yeah, he was cheating. He wasn't, but Wadu was cheating, and he got in the car with Wadu, and Wadu flew away.
Yeah, he played with cheaters. He played with cheaters for a meme because it'd be funny.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
PUBG though, like,
yeah,
that's another game that's just riddled with instead of fixing the game, they just release new maps and stuff. Like, fix the damn existing game. Stop adding new stuff. Like, that's at least what Fortnite does, right? Like
they just add new stuff all the time.
No, they change each season. They change an existing part of the map. They're not releasing new maps, but they're also hot fixing constantly.
Well, yeah.
They're updating weekly.
But anyways, yeah, Shroud, I think he was playing solo or whatever, wasn't he? And like, Wadu shows up and he's an enemy and they don't kill each other, so that's already rule breaking. And then he gets in the car and the car flies away with him in it. Yeah. And the server is just like, everybody in that car is banned.
Yeah.
And Shroud was like, that's fair.
Is he permabanned?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had. Didn't he make his next account free Shroud or something like that?
I think so.
It was something weird, but now he doesn't play because Apex is just
better
for him. It's the best one. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty much a tie between Apex and Call of Duty. They're like the battle royales, right? And they're vastly different from each other at the same time.
Yeah. I just recently started playing a bunch of Blackout again, and it is in a fantastic spot.
I would if I didn't have to download all of Call of Duty to do it.
Comparatively,
I'd play battle royales if I could, crossplay.
Comparatively to the other aspects,
I want to use my computer.
I just want to play.
That's why I built it.
Comparatively to the other aspects of the game that have gone wrong, like with the whole them trying to fish for more money, Blackout really was the diamond in the rough for that game. Because Zombies released in such a bad spot, which sucks because that's why a lot of the people buy the Treyarch games, because that storyline is amazing. And it only got better with the new DLC. That's crazy. I watch videos on that all the time.
No spoilers.
But
no spoilers.
The multiplayer was just almost no new content, rehashed maps. Like it just Blackout was the only thing that really felt new
and good.
Yeah, I mean, Zombies always feels good. They just neglected to patch it for so long, and it just kind of got left in the dust.
How would you guys feel about a Siege Battle
I don't.
Yeah,
I think game companies need to stop putting battle royales.
But the Pokemon one sounded good, honestly.
Borderlands in when they first were talking about Borderlands 3, Randy Pitchford came out and said there's not going to be a battle royale.
Right.
Don't worry.
And that
about
was
it,
when
guys.
every new game was like, "What about our battle royale? Like Battlefield's battle royale."
I mean, Halo also. Yeah. I don't know if it was a tweet or something, but Halo also said the only BR we care about is the battle rifle. Apparently, that made a lot of people mad too.
So
because I think the Halo people wanted a Halo.
Well, yeah,
BR.
there are certain games that it would be good in, like games where you can jump.
Halo,
like not Siege.
Like not Siege.
If Bungie was still in control of Halo, I think it would have been good. But with 343, the way that they've handled Halo in the past, it wouldn't get there.
Yeah.
And honestly, the way Bungie is now, I wouldn't even trust them to make a battle royale if they were still in control of Halo.
Yeah.
Bungie really fell off as a company. That's depressing because Halo was the one game that I played religiously, that I played with higher ups, like I played with semi-pros, pros. That was like the heyday for me, and nothing ever really felt as good as that. Like Halo Reach was the peak of, and honestly, I think it was one of the peaks of gaming. Like I think Halo Reach was.
But I'll say, like, it's weird that I always thought it was just like, I never think about it because I play Siege more than any other shooter I've ever played. But, like, jumping is integral to battle royales in general. Like, because it's just, like, you have to be able to view 360 while you're running in one direction. And the only way to do that is to jump and spin, or, like the PUBG and Fortnite, everyone does it. You jump, you look both directions, and you keep going. Or like you run backwards or whatever. If it's a first person battle royale, you jump, you look, you keep running. You know, you can't do that with.
Yeah.
But like, the thing is, Call of Duty, there's a lot of differences in like regular Black Ops 4 to Blackout. They changed a lot of like gun balancing and
they're completely different.
They're completely different. So why couldn't they do that with a Siege game?
Make it completely different than Siege. Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're doing with the new
the
Outbreak thing that they're turning in. What pandemic?
Yeah,
if Siege were to make a battle royale, it wouldn't be Siege. It'd be Rainbow Six something.
It would be Rainbow Six,
and that would be fine. Probably. I feel like they'd be able to do it.
If they had like Siege operators and destruction and things like that, but with jumping.
Well, yeah.
Jumping is a foreign concept to Rainbow Six.
Because like, think about like
that.
If you like, just an idea of like, they still have like barricades, but you'd have to like pick up barricades and pick up reinforcements.
And shove them up your ass.
And you
Instead
shove them in your
back. That feels like it'd be more of a, like, we put this in the game because it's from this other game that you guys like, and not like we put this in the game because you should play this game like that. Because in a BR, you're not going to reinforce a room.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Because like
then Thermite comes along and maybe he blows it out. But how many Thermites can there be?
Gadget?
Well, no, because like you would pick up a Thermite charge.
Okay.
Yeah, like
you would have to pick up each gadget.
Gadgets would exist in the battle royale, but you would have to pick them up.
Yeah, and they would be balanced with like IQ's thing would run out of battery, ironically. Like it spots anything with batteries or electronics or anything, and then it just runs out of batteries after a while, and so you just toss it away. Or like Ash should only get one charge. So if you're in a house where the exterior walls are destructible and you've got a little you're peeking through a bullet hole with your ACOG, and then all of a sudden you get hit in the face with an Ash charge, that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
So Maverick's Blowtorch would be almost useless, but it would be really cool if you're the kind of person that hides in bushes until the end, and then the final thing is in a house, and they've reinforced the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Because then you can just hide in bushes.
I
in
like
the
the
house.
way Siege is handling like the whole with Operation Outbreak. People didn't necessarily like the single player mode. Like it was good, it was okay, but they're turning that type of thing instead of making it into an operation, they're turning it into its own standalone game.
Yeah.
Which I think is the proper way to handle that. And I give props to Ubisoft because that actually makes it more interesting because you can build a proper storyline to it and make it something
because
unique.
it was another example of like they worked really hard on it because they put in an entirely new map,
and it was fun, but it was after
it got stale.
It died out like Showdown. Like
Showdown doesn't really get stale to me because it's just so silly and ridiculous.
And it's so quick. It's not like you have to put in a lot of time for it.
Yeah, because Outbreak was
we're waiting for someone or I'm frustrated.
Yeah,
I'll just play this.
And it's fresh from the normal Siege, whereas like Aircute 1 was not. It was just
dumb.
Yeah, it was
I
like
think
once
that's
you
what they need to do more.
no
that was
because once you
hilarious.
find every Easter egg in the wallpaper and you're like, okay, I've seen the bear, I've seen the colorful army men and everybody with their skins, then you're just playing Siege but distracting.
But it was more for the comedic factor with
Right.
that one.
And you
which
could
fit perfectly because it was an April Fool's.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I understand all that.
And they
that's
planned
why
that
it got
perfectly.
stale.
Bravo, Ubisoft.
That's why it got stale quickly because it was no different
than Siege.
Yeah, core mechanic wise, you're just playing Siege on a casual map on a game mode nobody likes with all this distracting stuff. So once the like
the visuals wear out.
Once the visuals and the magical like euphoria wears off, you're left with nothing.
I wish when you spawned you could have run out of the room in Kid's bedroom.
Yeah,
I wish you could have just gone out the door.
You're left with nothing except for limited choice in operators. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even remember that they only had select operators.
Yeah, and that's why in Showdown it doesn't matter that there's a limited choice in operators because however many they could have put all the operators in, but that'd just be like everyone would have the same loadout.
Yeah. Speaking of, I saw on, I think it was on Reddit. Someone's like, I picked Dokebi in Showdown, and they just had Dokebi's weapons. And they were running around as Dokebi in the Showdown map, shooting people. They didn't have the boss cheat or anything. They had the DMR, just headshotting people. It's like, how's that a thing?
That's why we jumped up so many headshots so fast. That person.
Yeah. I've contributed a whopping 2. Feel pretty good about that one. I go knife only.
I haven't paid attention. I just go revolver only. Boss G can
probably put it.
You don't have to. You just have to get headshots in Showdown. You don't have to use the Boss G to get them.
Okay, well, either way, I shoot
it's
the
just
body.
easier to use a revolver because you have 6 compared to 2 and less recoil.
And you're not covering a third of your screen with iron sights.
Yeah.
God, they need to fix the way the red dot looks in that's just because the red dot has potential to be a really good sight, but it's just so clunky looking. It bothers me.
It actually covers up like the only sight that covers up less than the red dot is the reflex. Holographic covers more of your screen.
Well, they're at different.
The red dot zooms.
Yeah, the red dot zoomed in. It's a little different because like the red dot is like this, like wider out. I'm doing hand gestures to the internet.
Yeah.
But the red dot's like wider out.
Frank did a video on this, and it was really informative.
So like where you look through the sight, there is more space to view, whereas a holo, when you look through the sight, it's tinier, and then the outside of it is blocking things.
I thought it was the opposite, where like the sight picture is what you see when you look through. So like it's what is on the inside of the sight. I thought it was bigger for the holographic, but slightly smaller for the red dot, but the red dot itself also covers up slightly less of your screen. But it covers a taller area.
Maybe I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure the red dot lets you see more, and like red dot covers up more of the outside of the sight.
Yeah.
But like whenever you use a holographic, like we all know what happens when you're leaning, aiming downstairs with a holographic, and someone's at the bottom, you die.
Yes.
Because you can't see them.
Yep.
With a red dot, you'd be able to see them only because the area of sight is bigger.
Yeah.
but
And it's
doesn't
still
look
got
good.
that thick outside
But
line.
it doesn't look good on
It's
any
just-
gun.
Not as close to the center of
But
where your
like,
sight is that
when
it's
you're not
covering.
aimed in, it looks so much smaller on your weapon.
It looks like out of place.
It's just an ACOG with a dot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the look of the sight itself.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Mounted on the gun, like they need that. That's not what.
No, here's my thing is that like the dot is bigger than the dot in the center of the holographic sight. So the red dot sight, the actual reticle is just slightly bigger than the holographic dot.
Right.
And so it feels inconsistent at certain ranges where my dot covers their entire head. And so it's like, where am I shooting in that dot? Because I should be hitting their head according to this dot. Maybe. Like, it's covered their head entirely. So if my bullet is this entire dot, they should be dead.
It's a big bullet.
It's a big bullet. But, like, Flanked actually had the opposite opinion of me, where he likes the red dot reticle more than he likes the reflex, because the reflex, he's like, do I aim at the center of the triangle? Do I aim at the top of the triangle?
That's why I use.
It's
the
always the
holographic.
tip of the triangle.
Which tip?
The very tippy tip. The tippy top of the triangle. Which, once I figured that out, the reflex doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that now it's a little bit of a lopsided thing because the center of the sight is on the center of the triangle.
Right.
Which I understand why that confuses and bothers people. So I think the reflex sight just needs a reticle overhaul.
Yeah. I think it's just like I love the reflex, but I've been using the holographic more simply because of that precision dot.
I prefer dots to lines, and I've always done that.
But,
in
like,
Call of Duty, anything.
For like the last year, I've used like reflex or ACOG. That was pretty much it. And then now I'm like, let's use the holographic.
Yeah.
Because I can just aim better.
Like, I like the Spetsnaz ACOG
I can just see
with the dot
Yeah.
compared to the.
That's a pretty big dot, but it's an ACOG, so it's fine.
And I just feel like I'm more as weird as it is. I feel like I'm more accurate with the dot because I know where to aim with the dot. It's the dot. You know, it's right there. It's not
And
the triangle.
I understand that.
Like, where do I go?
It's better. I don't remember what exact word he used, but it's better feedback. You get better feedback of where your bullets are going, and that's the issue I have with the red dot. The feedback with that big of a dot is awful for me.
If they're gonna do it like that, they should have made it. If they're gonna make it that big, make it hollow in the middle,
Or make it smaller.
or make it
Just
smaller.
make it-
Either or.
Give everyone Clash's red dot.
Or like Ella's pistol.
It's just
Yeah, that red dot
Yeah.
is perfect.
It's
Oh, actually, I think they reverted Clash. Clash has a giant dot now.
Oh well.
When she was released, she did.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but they
But
were
yeah,
when
like-
they made her gun automatic, so it makes it harder.
yeah, I kind of just use the hollow and the reflex interchangeably. For me, I think it depends on how much I sprint with the person.
Yeah.
If I'm holding angles, believe it or not, I think I use the reflex more for holding angles.
Yeah, I guess it's less in the way.
Yeah, it's less in the way, and I have time to
And
align and think to myself, it's on the very tippy top of that triangle, and if you lean, you're at a 45, and it's a right, or it's a
Perfect triangle.
it's perfect. I don't know what fucking
Equilateral.
I don't know.
Yes, equilateral.
It's a triangle, and so when
It's
you
a fucking
lean to the
triangle.
left 45 degrees, now that what was the top left third of that triangle is now perfectly perpendicular to the ground, and you can line that up with a door frame or something
Yeah.
like that and use that to line up your angle.
Mm-hmm.
And then now the top of that line is where you're going to be blasting brains out.
The reflex is definitely better with lean angles.
Yeah. But like holographic, I think feels better for running at people.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm trying to do it more on console since we just play on console, but when I'm playing on Siege, I pretty much have the reflex, and I pick I've been picking Valkyrie, but Valkyrie's a popular operator, she's like one of the best defenders in the game, and I just have the holographic on it, where I used to use the reflex on everyone.
Yeah.
But I play her completely different than I play her on console. And I
Yeah.
feel like it's just because I'm more confident on PC with my aim, because you should be.
Yeah.
So.
But because like Ash, I use the holographic because it feels better for like in the moment gunfights and running at people. And I'm not holding angles while I'm on attack, so why would I? And I'm not bothered by the fact that if my gun is at rest at hipfire, then this big block of a sight is going to cover up half my screen. Unless you're playing on, like, I don't know, IQ with the AUG, who, one, holds her gun up higher than normal with the AUG, and the sights sit higher, so you actually lose half your screen when you use the AUG with an ACOG or a holographic, and it's disgusting. They need to fix it. Rogue 9 showed a video of like different comparing guns and stuff like that. I think it was IQ's loadout, and he mentioned that aspect of it. He's like, look at her holding her commando. It's down here like normal, you know, just the bottom third, and it sticks out. You can see her hand, and then look at her hold it up by her ears when she's got the AUG out, and it's just
honestly that's probably. I mean, I feel like they might not even notice that that's a thing because people don't use the AUG.
Fair enough. I use the AUG, though. I have black eyes on the AUG.
Yeah, but Probably doesn't use the AUG.
Yeah. Probably use whatever they want.
Better.
Just get the black ice on the commando like everyone else.
Yeah, just go back in time and buy black ice for every gun when that bundle was a thing.
If only I could.
They
Then I
should
wouldn't
just
even
re-release
I wouldn't
it.
even like black ice.
Exactly.
Like Kicks.
He doesn't like black ice. He's got it for every gun. It's funny.
I just wanted it on the FMG9.
I just want a shotgun and thermite's weapon, but you two have them and I don't.
Right.
U2 was me and Hayagun.
That's hilarious.
U2 is a British band.
Horrible band. I don't like them.
But yeah, man.
I think we covered everything and more.
And more.
And more.
We talked about a lot
Other
of games
games.
that aren't Siege.
We did.
So,
and
like,
we had
we
only.
were gonna have time for that at the end, but we already did that, didn't we?
We did.
We
did
be like, hey,
indeed.
what are you playing? Like, yeah, I'm playing a lot of Siege.
We've been playing a lot of Siege.
No, actually, though, I have been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat more than I have lately.
Playing Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Teamfight Tactics. That's new. That's a hot topic.
Hot topic.
You guys go ahead and talk about that. I have no input whatsoever.
Think it's fun?
I think it's
Takes
fun.
too long.
I don't think it takes too long.
Sometimes it definitely does.
Any
Feels
game
like-
by Riot takes too long.
That's fair. It's not even a game.
But
Though. It's just
the
a
thing
game
is, it's like
mode.
in normal, you can win quicker. It could take longer, but it's like if you're playing the game, it's always going to be over 30 minutes.
It's
no
yeah.
matter what.
If you get to the end of a game, it's the same time no matter what.
Pretty
Because
much.
Each prep phase is the same amount of time. Each fight phase is the same amount of time. Each draft phase is the same amount of time. So when you get to the last round,
Fight phases can end a few seconds earlier if everyone finishes early.
Yeah,
They
if
should
everyone
lower the
finishes.
time. Yeah, when it gets with less and less players, they should lower the time.
the only way that the game time changes is if a lot of people die early, and you don't get to the very last round of the whole thing because you can end the game. I think there was 5 or 6 stages, and then 5 or 6 rounds per stage.
And it also depends on like how close the fights are. If it's a landslide, people
Because
die
you
quicker.
lose more health if there's more characters left on the enemy team. So if you're if you two were like undefeated and everyone else is dead and you're on stage 5 and you're only losing and you're like losing back and forth to each other only by one character, it's gonna take forever.
Yeah,
but it can end fast. Like me and you're the only one that plays. So we were playing a game and they have like mob phases, which is where you get your items from. And the second mob phase, 5 people were dead, which is like unheard of. That's
Mobs in, like the golems and raptors.
Yeah, they're jungle camps that you
Jungle
fight,
Yeah.
and except for Gromp, everything but Gromp, poor Gromp, and red buff and blue buff,
Why not Grom?
and technically Baron. You fight Rift Herald if you want.
Right.
You got to get far enough, but
You can't even fight. Can you fight Elder Drag?
yes,
Yeah.
it's
What
actually
the hell?
I think it's random between Rift Herald and Elder Drag which one you get
It should be Baron.
because that's not the last.
Baron's the fun.
That's not the last one. Baron might be in there, but every game's ended before that. I've never been to a max length game. Maybe there's not a max length, but
That'd be cool if there wasn't.
if there wasn't
Infinite overtime.
Where have we heard that before?
28 rounds on Coastline. No,
God, I hate Coastline.
Mecro, have you had a chance to play? When's the last time you did play Mortal Kombat? I guess a while ago. Have you tried Shang Tsung?
I haven't bought them.
You haven't bought
I
them?
think I have the DLC pack, so it's alive.
You just gotta
but
download them then.
just gotta download them then.
You should try it.
Sure,
He's
should.
real good. I enjoyed him. I had to try him when I got my ass handed to me by him in a King of the Hill match, because I have decided I'm gonna 100% the game. I'm gonna go down this road and I'm gonna hate every second of it. Except
So,
those ones I don't.
During the summer sale,
Yeah.
Borderlands Game of the Year Edition remaster is 50% off, and you guys should do that so we can get a Borderlands.
Darkest Dungeon is actually like 75% off, so I already bought that.
Yeah, because I Borderlands is my favorite game series of all time, and I really want to play.
On
I thought
PlayStation?
Halo was your peak
Halo-
of gaming experience. You were a pro.
Halo is.
You were a pro.
I wasn't a pro.
You said you played with pros,
That
man.
doesn't make you a
Pros.
pro. We told
It's
you earlier we
semi-pro.
played with a
played-
pro Call of Duty player. You steamrolled us because we aren't pros.
Yeah, we
Did
played
you
with
get
Burns
steamrolled
off.
in Halo?
No, because I played, like, I watched scrim matches with pro teams before, and, like, I played with them after the games for cooldowns and whatnot. I never actually, like, got action in the game, like, 'cause I wasn't on the teams,
Yeah.
but it was a fun time. But for single player games, Borderlands is my cup of tea. That is.
Makes me so sad that Siege teams can't stream scrims. Thank you.
Yeah.
And like
Because
it's
like-
weird because
so-
like the Call of Duty teams wouldn't stream scrims because they didn't want to give away information. And then I think it was Scumpy was like, you can't learn anything from a Call of Duty team on a scrim except for their break-off strategy, which is start of the round where people are running each map. That's all you know. And for the most part, it's the same for every team. So they had a big argument, and then eventually they were able to play the game again.
words are hard.
And for Siege, like, because that argument happened like a year ago, and then I've only just started like watching Siege streams now, and they were talking about like, yeah, you don't want to give away your strategy, and I'm thinking like, I guess because there's actually strategy involved.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little
But I
bit
just
different.
want to watch.
Yeah.
There's actual.
Like,
But
like
the thing is, you'd be giving away as much to the person in the team you're scrimming against.
right.
And they
That's-
can just go and tell people.
That's the thing. That's
So,
that's
like-
why. It's not just so that, like the viewers don't know, but like the other teams will just know.
Yeah, but they'll know if you scrim the wrong team, because the team's
Yeah.
just gonna be like,
Hey, he does this.
hey, G2, Empire actually has this one strategy where they rely entirely on a one trick. So if you ban Jaeger, you win.
Like, it definitely makes sense to not stream scrims in games like Siege and League. Like,
I don't
especially
even know about League.
Well, no, League is because they're testing stuff.
That
like,
yeah,
they're playing-
like they don't
like-
go by their actual strategies, but
Like, Mordekaiser is one of the most I wish he would get played. That's my favorite champion. But all him and Renekton.
because the pro teams don't do that stuff in like
Kiana's
normal
getting
games
played.
because they don't all play together unless it's a scrim, pretty much.
I mean, Sonic Fox streams his scrims all the time,
But
so they know his strategy.
win.
Fair. He's just that good, I guess. But Dragon did kind of pick him apart a little bit in some of the games when
Made him sweat.
made him sweat a little, yeah.
If you're gonna lose, make him sweat for
Dragon put him in the loser bracket by 3-0ing him.
Oh, yeah.
And it was because he watched some of the Cassie. I'm assuming it's because he watched some of Sonic streaming with Cassie, and he played Cassie, and he wouldn't switch off of Cassie, and then in finals he wouldn't switch off of Cassie, and then won.
Yeah, proceeded to win.
Proceeded to win, yes. But yeah, like I I see the point in not streaming scrims, but also don't be a bitch about it and just stream your scrims and take the loss.
Right.
Have fun.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
As if everyone did it. Then
Like
it
the
wouldn't
biggest
matter.
thing is like they need to have.
But it's
like,
also their job, so makes sense.
But like you get paid more to stream.
You do. I believe for.
Especially if you don't win.
Yeah.
Like
I don't.
like EG for
Is
every
that
second place right now, they should start streaming some of their scrims.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the other team is like, hey, don't stream this.
That's
scrim
the thing.
because
It's
you're
a
gonna give
gentleman.
away our
It's a
strategy.
gentleman's rule to not do it. It's not like your own team. It's the other teams too, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like you would almost make more from sponsorship deals though too.
Oh, 100%.
The org.
Sponsors.
Streamers make way more money than pros. That's why King George quit. King George is one of the most toxic siege streamers. Words are just so hard.
It's real late. It's getting real
King
late.
George is one of the most toxic siege streamers I know of. He's just so toxic for the community. He's bad verbal abuser. He says
He's the reason Xbox is taking away free speech.
pretty much. But no, like
He's one of those people that would.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, he was a pro when it was on Xbox. The first pro season for Siege was on Xbox, and King George was on Continuum, which is now EG. And then he quit after they won the Invitational. That's why his picture is him wearing a Continuum shirt and holding the Sledge's hammer, which was the Invitational trophy.
That's sick.
It's pretty sick.
That is sick.
But they, he quit because he just made more money streaming, and you can't stream as a pro.
Yep.
I mean,
You-
even League.
You can,
Like
but
you
you
can,
can't.
but not scrims.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Even League
Not your
players-
main time on the game.
Yeah, Fabian and Pengu stream.
Even League players have taken time off to stream. Like one of the
Look at
best
Odd One.
League of Legends players of all time in Double Lift.
Odd One
He took half a
retired.
season
Yeah.
off.
Odd One retired, and
Is more rich because of it.
yeah, and he still plays League.
I would say
I mean,
Dyrus,
right now-
but I don't
Dyrus.
know if Dyrus.
I don't.
Dyrus.
They just live together. I don't think Dyrus streams that much. He probably does for fun.
Not
and
anymore.
makes
Like he
money
streams a
from
lot of other games. Like he plays
Yeah.
a lot of World of Warcraft.
I mean,
He
so-
did
so
VR
does,
chat for a long time.
So does-
Odd one for. I mean, he still plays Fire Emblem, but he was like playing Fire Emblem, like
Yeah.
all the games. He streamed the mobile game.
I know Double Lift did World of Warcraft.
Yeah, and that's the
I
thing.
know
Like
he plays a lot of
that's
World
the
of
other thing about
Warcraft in all
retiring. When
seasons.
you retire from the game that you were a pro in, you can stream whatever you want now. You can
Yeah.
play other games,
Yeah.
and like the people that like you as a personality are still gonna watch you. But like when you're a pro, you're only gonna get the views, and you only have time to play the game that you're a pro for. Because like if your coach comes in and catches you playing World of Warcraft, you know how many times Dyrus probably got yelled at for playing WoW. The coach walks in and he's like he alt tabs to porn or something because he's not playing WoW, and his coach was like, "Oh, go back to your business." But if he walks in and he's playing WoW, he's gonna get fucking beat with a belt.
Yeah.
Like, get back to top
What was
lane,
it?
you
There was
slave.
There was a problem.
God, get back to being a bullet sponge for
wasn't-
Bjergsen.
Wasn't there a problem like a while ago that League streamers actually couldn't stream, or League pro players actually couldn't stream another game because during their queues they were playing Hearthstone because they have like 30+ minute queues. Or
Yeah,
used to.
yeah. When you're
I don't know if it's
in
different now.
Master and Challenger,
And, like,
you're
I think
30
Twitch-
queue times.
Twitch had something to do with that too, because like
Because you
they
can't,
basically
yeah.
became Hearthstone streamers because
Yeah.
like you're listed as a League streamer,
and
and
Sneaky
League
would,
is
Sneaky
up here,
would play like Path of Exile
Yeah.
in his queues. It's just
and so it's
gotta
like
do something.
all these other games were upset because they're like, hey, these people are playing our games, but they're listed as League streamers, and League is getting the views.
Yeah,
So like, people are clicking on League but watching our game when they click on our game.
that
and
could
they've
have
got
been
some
it.
turd
That could have been it,
sticking
and it
some-
might have just been a bigger problem for for League because of the queue times.
Yeah.
So fix your fucking queue times, Jesus.
It's a good matchmaking system. It
Yeah,
just
but,
has
like,
long queue times
30
because of it.
Minutes, man. Poor guy.
Only
Oh,
if
that's
it's
that's
something
why.
we
That's
didn't
why they
talk
all play.
That's a topic for next week, is the toxicity in Siege. King George coming at you.
We could do a whole podcast on just toxicity.
But we're getting close
video
to two.
games.
Yeah, we're getting close to 2 hours now, so we can't really talk about toxicity in Siege. That's like a third.
It exists?
Yeah, it does exist. King
Does
George is the king of toxicity. I don't like that man.
I hope he watches this.
I do too. He wouldn't care. He's like, what is this?
Yeah, like,
Nobody.
Yeah.
I can't hear you over all of my
Excuse you,
money.
I'm somebody, and you have to listen to what
You're
I
not
do.
anymore.
I can't hear you over all of the money that I'm making.
Like, King George wouldn't care if Shroud was like, dude, you're toxic. He'd be like, you're toxic. And Shroud would be like, I'm just good at aiming, dude.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun time. Anyway, do you guys need any final words?
Bye.
All right.
Subscribe,
That about sums that up.
Subscribe and hit the bell.
Wow.
Get
I
the
don't, I don't
flippin'
even.
bell on.
I don't even say that. And it's my channel.
44 Club, thanks for sticking around.
Awesome people.
Awesome people.
No, but for real, if you
Check
like
out the merch in the description.
if you enjoyed the
I don't
video,
have merch.
if you enjoy the video, like it so we know, so we keep doing this type of stuff. And if you have stuff you want us to talk about,
Yeah, if you
Comment.
want Hayagoon to talk a little more next time,
yeah, he was quiet.
he's got a good
No,
voice. He's
it's
good
fine.
at ASMR. Get in there, give him some.
Give him, don't give
No,
him
you just
ASMR.
gotta give me some pots and pans. I'll do some ASMR.
Let's not. Anyway,
Yeah, if you want us to stream, go ahead and
We
tell
should
my
just
processor
stream.
to cool down so
Yeah.
I can.
You can ask us, but it won't happen.
Also, make it easier to stream on PS4
that too.
because that's the only reason I don't stream our
Yeah,
games.
buy me an i7 so I can stream on PC because
Apparently, you need an
Siege
i7.
Siege
Patreon.
crashes when I try to stream it.
Yeah, it's fun. Anyway, any plugs? Do you guys want to plug anything?
I have a channel that doesn't have videos yet. It might have one of a bunch of 4Ks because I can't get aces.
I have
Clutch or kick, fool!
They were all clutches, but somebody was dead already.
I have no plugs.
No
I
plugs?
want to
Yeah.
plug Mr. It's Macros channel.
Simplistic,
Wow, that was easy.
games.
So we got Simplistic
Waffle
Games?
Company.
Simplistic Games? Is that what
Let
it's
me
called?
look it up. I haven't posted in a while.
I
Doesn't
didn't
even
know
know
it
his
was
own
games.
YouTube channel. What a guy!
Yeah,
You know you're a good YouTuber though when every time we play he forgets to record the first round.
There's two on here, and I don't know which one it is. Look.
Give them both.
Which one's a you?
There's Simplistic, and there's Simplistic. Yeah, it's Simplistic. Simplistic Games is definitely my email address.
Alrighty then.
All right,
So-
this has gone
so yeah.
downhill.
So yeah, Simplistic, but spelled like symbol.
Like CY.
Yeah,
It'll be linked.
yeah.
It'll be linked on down there in the box.
And
of
then
words.
Waffle Co. You
And
know,
then
we'll,
Waffle
we'll get
Co.
some stuff on there.
Adventure.
We may post one of these on there. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because me and you are part of that.
We are. Which.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We
Hayagoon's
got a new
honorary
member here. I forgot
in the
about him
group
because he
chat.
hasn't spoken.
I guess that would then make Jackal honorary at this point. And probably official if we post a lot of these on that one.
To be fair, aren't we like the leading
Well, yes.
members of this?
Yes.
On accident. I was not meant
One
to
of
be
them
in
is
this.
probably officially out.
Right.
And the other one is more interested in Dungeons and Dragons and wants to stream that and like Magic, and I'm like, that's fine, but that's not video games. That's games. I'm fine. Don't get me wrong. I like playing those, but
Yeah, there's a tabletop stream
yeah.
game for Twitch now.
We
Right.
should stream. We should have 4-person commander games and stream those.
I'd
You
be
just
down.
make YouTube videos of it.
Yeah, we could exactly.
I think that could be another
Like
series.
like
if you
game
guys-
nights,
if-
but like way less quality.
Right.
like
Because
troll.
we don't have people to put CG in our windows,
Right.
and we don't get Magic cards. for
Anyway,
free.
before this goes on any longer,
Oh yeah, we're almost there.
we're almost at 2 hours.
Let's
Let's
YouTube,
watch it.
give us ads.
Yeah. 44 Club. Thanks for sticking around. We'll see ya.